So welcome to module way to change server parameter in EDB Postgresql Advanced Server. Before jumping to the module, let me tell you about myself. So myself Athar, and working as a database architect, and I'm having experience in multiple RDBMS based database softwares like Oracle, SQL Server, Postgre, MySQL, and cloud platform like AWS and OCI. Now let's move on to our agenda. Here are the list of modules we'll cover today. Like we'll talk about setting server parameters, Postgresql.conf file, even multiple ways to set or change the server parameter value in EDB Postgre. Maybe you guys are DBA or else trying to get the job as a DBA. So this demo is really helpful for you all because you have to do this type of activity maybe multiple times in a month. So those who are Oracle DBA, they can understand easily, even they can relate also from Oracle database. Let's talk about Oracle database. So in Oracle, there are two types of parameter. One is static and one is dynamic. It means some parameters require restart database for reflect the changes and some don't require. Let me give you an example. Like let's say you want to enable archive log. So it's an option to keep your archive to FRA or else any other location. Now when you want to keep your archive at other destination, then you can set your archive destination using alter system command. That parameter not required to bounce the database because that is dynamic. You are just changing the location. But for enable the archive log, you have to bounce the database because you are going to keep your old transaction from redo area to archive area. Now you have a picture at why I said static and dynamic. So in Postgre also have some same concept except little changes. So today we'll talk about it and we'll perform demo also on it. Setting server parameters. There's a different way that you can use to configure the setting of your Postgresql.conf file. The main setting file is Postgresql.conf and this file is kept inside the data directory. This is the file where all the parameters are kept. The parameter name is Postgresql.conf are case insensitive and all the parameters will take a value. The equal to operator in the parameter value, like when you set work underscore mem is equal to 10 megabyte, the equal to operator is optional. Now when you open this Postgresql.conf file, which is kept inside the data directory for your database cluster, at the top you will see a lot of comments and a very good description of this file. I normally recommend to everyone to give it a read because that will give you an overview that what this file contains. You will see that there are multiple sections in this Postgresql.conf and you can change the parameter in this file. That is one of the way to change the parameter of your Postgre database cluster. The server parameter file is actually Postgresql.conf file. Talking about the server parameter file, that is Postgresql.conf file, this parameter file hold all the parameters. Parameters are case insensitive, and file is inside data directory by default. And whenever we initialize a brand new database cluster, we always get a default Postgresql.conf file. All the parameters in this file needs a reload or restart. If you look at the file and you see a comment right next to the parameter that says changes require restart, that clearly means that you will need to restart your database instance for applying the changes of that parameter. But some, or I should say many of the parameters don't even need a restart. And that means you can simply go and say pg_ctl reloaded in that case. So some parameter changes require restart and some require reload. Normally parameters are commented in Postgresql.conf file, so you have to uncomment the file if you want to make a changes, as well as there is only one parameter per line. Now sometimes you may not want to put the value of the parameter in this config file. Means you may want to keep the file at different location, and then you want to use those values which are in that file in a postgresql.conf file. Now postgresql.conf file also support include directive. You can either include a file from a particular location, or you can include all the files from a particular directory location that is supported inside postgresql.conf file. Now way to set server parameters. Other than changing the parameter inside the postgresql.conf file, you can also make the changes only for a single session using set command, only for a single user using alter user command, and only for a single database inside database, so using alter database command. And even you can also change the setting at the server level using alter system command. These are the options and the ways available to change the parameters. Anytime you are in a PSQL session and you want to see the settings, you can say show command, or you can also write a select on pg underscore settings or pg underscore file settings dictionary tables. That is how you can view the value of the parameter. Now whenever you say show or select on pg underscore setting dictionary, you will always see the current applicable values to your session in the dictionary. So it shows you the current value, not actually what is inside the postgresql.conf file. Alter system. The alter system command is an easy way to change the parameter setting. It is only available to the system DBAs, means the super user of your database cluster. What it does internally is it write the change parameter inside postgresql.alter.conf. So when I say alter system set work underscore mem is equal to, let's say, 20480 KB, then that particular value is written inside postgresql.alter.conf. Now this file is also inside the data directory of your cluster. Now when you reload or restart your server, the first file that the postmaster read is postgresql.conf, and the next file that it read is postgresql.auto.conf. That means whatever changes that you have done in postgresql.auto.conf, that change will overwrite all the parameter value that you have given inside postgresql.conf file. Now anytime you decide that you want to remove that change, you don't want to keep the change that you have done using alter system, so you can either say alter system and reset the parameter name, or you can also say alter system reset all. That is a way you can change the value, or sometimes you may even want to say alter system work name is equal to default if you want to apply the default value. So that is basically an alter system command that is available for super user views, and they can change the parameter on the fly when they are connected onto PSQL. All these changes that you will do always require a reload or restart based on the parameter that you are changing. Today I am going to show you practically that how you can change parameter at cluster level, database level, user level, and even session level. Well, I'm not going to talk or explain about parameter, but yeah, as we will perform this demo using one parameter name as work underscore mem, let me give you an overview about work underscore mem parameter. It is a configuration within Postgre that determines how much memory can be used during certain operation. The work mem value default is 4 MB in Postgre, and that's likely a bit low. This means that per Postgre activity, either each join or some type of shortings, etc., can consume 4 MB before it start spiraling to disk. Now let's demonstrate this practically, and we'll check that how we can change the parameter settings in Postgre at different set of levels. So now let me open the putty, and I'm going to connect to one server. So I'm going to log in using root user, and then we'll switch to enterprise DB user, which is a super user of your EDB Postgres. Now first we have to check that the instance is running or not using a process name Postgre. Now let me connect, and first we have to check that where is our configuration file, or you can say where is our server parameter file. So that command is show config underscore file. This will give you a location of your server parameter file. Now let me show you the value of work mem parameter. It is by default 4 MB, as I told you earlier also. Now just quit from this terminal and just go to your data directory location, and here just listing, and let me open this file using VI editor, and I'm going to find work underscore mem. So here we have, and you can see that this is 4 MB by default. So now I'm going to uncomment this and just changing the value to 2 MB. So first I open the file, that is Postgresql.conf file, and I just change the value of the parameter manually. Simple. So now let me save this. But if you connect again and you can check the value, it is still 4 MB. So we have to reload it, then only that particular value will set or reflect for this cluster, because we change this parameter value at cluster level. Now just exit from here, and I'm going to use a pg_ctl utility for reload it. Just run this command and then connect again, and you can check and found that the value is now 2 MB. This is the easiest way to change the value, and you just have to open the file and write the changes and then just reload it. Simple. Now let's say we have around databases available also inside the cluster. So we have Athar, we have EDB Postgres databases available. Now let's say you want to change at cluster level but using alter system command. So for that I'm using alter system set work underscore mem is equal to, let's say, 20, or let's say 5120 KB. So we set this parameter at cluster level using alter system command, but still that will not reflect, because for any changes we have to either reload or restart the cluster. So if you check again the value, it is still 2 MB. Now I'm going to restart this, reload this actually, and then let me connect to PSQL and check the value is changed to 5 MB. Now if you want to change the value at database level, what do you have to do in that case? So let's say we have databases available named as Athar, and I want to change the work mem for this Athar database to another level. So now alter database Athar set work underscore mem is equal to, let's say, 100240. And now the best part is actually this. Let's say we configure the work mem parameter at cluster level. Now we set again at database level. So the database level will override the value of cluster level. So now let me connect using database Athar and user enterprise DB. We are connected, and if you can check here, show work underscore mem is actually 10 MB. But if you connect to other database, let's say EDB using enterprise DB user, and you can check the value is 5 MB still. So at cluster level, the value is 5 MB, but at single database level is actually 10 MB. So now you have a picture that the cluster level will override using database level. Now we have some set of users available. So we have, let's say, Athar user. So I'm going to change this using alter user command at user level. So let me set it alter user, and username, just set the work underscore mem is equal to, let's say, I'm going to set it to 20480. Okay, now the best part is it doesn't matter about the work mem value in database level or at cluster level, because once the user will connect to any database, it will get this work mem, this memory for that particular user. Now let me show you something interesting. Let's say he wants to connect to database name EDB and username is let's say Athar. Let me write the password here, and Athar is connected to EDB database. Now if you can see clearly, the work mem for user level is 20 MB. Now again you have a new picture that it doesn't matter your parameters set at cluster level can be override from database level, and even that can be override from user level. So user can override database level parameter if we assign a value to the user, and database will override the value of cluster level. It can be possible in Postgres. Now so we saw that we set the environment, we set the parameter value at cluster level, at database level, at user level. Now what about the session level? So let me show you something interesting. So now user is connected, and let's say he want to set the work mem to other level. So he just want to set at session level, and the parameter is, let's say, work mem is equal to, let's say he want to set 10 megabyte to, so 100240, and now if you check clearly, the work mem is 10 megabyte. So now you have a new picture again, that session level can override the user level, and user level can override database level, and database level can override the cluster level. Now so this is how we do in, or you can say we work in Postgresql.conf and in Postgre, and this is how we can change the parameter value in EDB Postgres Advanced Server. Now I'm showing you, let me show you something interesting also here. So I'm going to connect, and if you quit from this terminal, that particular, let's say, -d EDB and -u Athar. So let me connect again, and you can check the work mem is still 20 megabyte because we set this at user level. Now let me connect to EDB database using Enterprise DB, and I told you that whenever you set the parameter at cluster level, it will first go to inside your Postgresql.auto.conf file. Now how can we say that? The question comes here, how can we assure that when you set the parameter using alter system cluster level, that will go first inside your Postgresql.auth.conf file? Now let me show you something interesting. So I'm going to show you, set the parameter using alter system. Again, work underscore mem is equal to, let's say, 5120, so 5 megabyte. It's set, but it will not reflect because we have to reload our instance. So but I told you that this value is go inside your Postgresql.auto.conf file, which is inside your data directory. Now I'm going to quit from the terminal, and let me just show you. I'm going to open the file Postgresql.auto.conf file, and just open this file. You can see that the work mem is 5120. Now once you reload our instance, then this file value, this parameter value will override the value which is inside the Postgresql.conf file. So I'm going to reload it and let's see what happened. It's done. Now you can see that it is still available inside the Postgresql.conf file, and if you go inside your Postgresql.conf, let me open that file and just and the concern is, you can see here clearly that the value is still showing 2 MB. Now whenever, let me show you something interesting here. Now whenever you restart your cluster, okay, then the postmaster will read first this file, the Postgresql.conf file, and then it will read the value which is inside Postgresql.auto.conf file. So when you connect to using PSQL and you can check the value of show work mem, it is 5 MB because we change it at cluster level using alter system command. And let's say I'm going to restart it. So pg_ctl restart, simple. Now let me show you something interesting. Let me first open this file. You will see this file contains work mem because this was the last parameter. So what actually happened, your cluster, your postmaster will read first the information or the parameter value from Postgresql.conf file, and then it will read the information, the value which is inside Postgresql.auto.conf file. So this is how Postgre work, and this is how we can change the parameter settings in EDB Postgres Advanced Server. Now that's all about today's sessions. In case you guys have any question, please ask. So let me just stop the recording.